What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 6 of Football Talk. That is right. I'm coming at you on October 2nd. We're already into the month of October. How insane is that? So I hope you guys are doing good today. I know I am. I found out today that I don't have class Friday afternoons. So I'll be back at home by 10 o'clock in the morning. Which is nice. And also just want to let you guys know I have been offered a partnership by TGN, and I actually have to get in contact with them after this and go ahead and get that application started. So hope again you guys are doing good on this hump day that we are experiencing today. I took my midterm and it kind of sucked, but it wasn't that bad. So interesting week in the NFL this week. It was very surprising, some of the things that happened. Especially with the Browns. I wasn't really expecting that, but fantasy week was good as well, and we'll see what happens as this week kicks off tomorrow night with the Browns in Cleveland. But we will go ahead and get into the scores from this past weekend. So starting off, San Francisco and St. Louis from last Thursday. The 49ers won 35-11. Kaepernick really didn't silence his critics to me. He did good, but that whole win was really based around Gore getting stuff done on the running game and them kind of reverting back to old school football. And it really kind of showed that they need to be doing that more. But Kaepernick had a solid game and will not take that away from him. I will not take that away from him. Sorry, I had to yell at my dog to stop licking himself. But yeah, solid win for the 49ers. I was really surprised that they killed them that bad, but it is the Rams, and that defense kind of sucks right now in the interior, but not on the outside. Lauren Knights is good at linebacker, but they need a little bit more power inside with Long on the outside. They're going to be a good team here pretty soon, and Bradford's struggling. He has a lot of young receivers, and he's struggling. So. Patriots and Falcons squared off on Sunday Night Football. The Patriots walked in to Atlanta, hot Atlanta, as some people call it, and the Patriots came away with a 30-23 win over the Dirty Birds. And the Patriots looked good, and the Falcons looked terrible. It was actually a lot closer of a game than you would think. I mean, the score shows it, but it was really close. There were some really good throws on both sides, but I was happy that Tony G got some touchdowns for me in fantasy. But other than that, I was rooting for the Patriots and Tom Brady to get me some fantasy points. But Vince Wilfork went down with an Achilles injury that really took him kind of out of existence really for the rest of the season at this point. I think he is out for the rest of the season. So big win for the Patriots. They improved to 4-0, and the Falcons dropped to 1-3. So that was something interesting to see this weekend. I don't really remember them doing that bad. In recent memory, I think they were that bad back whenever Harrington was quarterbacking for them. So interesting. The whole state of Georgia was mourning at this point. Baltimore headed into Ralph Wilson Stadium and came away with a loss as the Bills won 23-20 over them. The Ravens were shocked. They threw the ball 50 times and only rushed for 8. Buffalo just basically held on for the win. I actually had picked them to win, and nobody believed me that they would win, and they won, so I was pretty happy, and I'm glad they kind of showed some people up. But, that's how it goes. Buffalo getting it done. I'm excited to see the Bills do good again. Hopefully they won't have the playoff problems that they did back in the mid-90s whenever they get to the Super Bowl, and then they would suck. But hey, if they're a playoff team, that actually, I think that this year that division is probably the most competitive it has been in the last couple of years. So that's kind of a good upturn for the AFC East. Moving on, the Cleveland Browns hosted the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Browns came away with their second straight win, that is, against the Bengals, and they won 17-6. I was really surprised to see the Browns win. Hoyer's doing some work, and so is Cameron, their tight end. You'd think a team that trades away their best player would start to suck, but they're actually doing better without Richardson. So maybe Richardson is he's a problem in the locker room. Who knows? We really haven't heard anything about it. Not the way that stuff has been going down in the way of the Buccaneers have been having a lot of problems with that kind of stuff. But so Cleveland came away with a win. I'm actually surprised. I'm actually kind of excited for them too. The Lions took down the Bears 40-32. I was extremely happy to see the Bears lose and see the Lions win. The Lions play my Packers this weekend, but hey, the Lions beat the Bears. So as long as the Bears lose, everybody's happy in the world, and I think even the Devil's probably happy at that point. If it has not been expressed by now that I hate the Bears, I think it probably should be that I am not a Bears fan. The only Bears player I have ever liked was Devin Hester, and Jay Cutler is a little douchebag in my opinion. He is very short to be a quarterback. He's not as short as Drew Brees, but he's still pretty short, and I can throw better than Jay Cutler can. So the Lions win. Reggie Bush got back on top. He did really well. He had like a 71-yard rush, I believe, for a touchdown. Maybe it was like a 61, but he turned it on a draw play. It's pretty awesome to see Reggie Bush do well again. I love Reggie Bush, and it was just even sweeter to see it come against the Bears. The Chiefs killed the G-Men of New York, 31-7. Chiefs dismantled the Giants just like everybody else has this whole season. The Giants have only scored 7 points in the last 2 weeks and have allowed 69 points. Isn't that fitting? So, they play the Eagles this coming week, and we'll see what happens in that game. I'll get to my predictions later for this coming week's game, and we'll bring in Kyle for the last little bit of the NCAA picks and for the NFL picks. But G-Men look like they're terrible. Eli is trying too hard, and the Chiefs keep on looking better. So, hey, that's a good step up for the Chiefs. And Andy Reid, I'm excited for him. I'm glad. The Vikings beat up the Steelers in London, and they won 34-27. This game was actually surprisingly good. Peterson had like a 70 or an 80-something yard touchdown. The old man getting it done. He's not really old, but you know what I mean. Everybody's calling him old man because he had that injury. It took like 4 years off his life or something like that. So, Vikings won. Happy for them. Sucks for the Packers because they've been off and they're 1-2. So they had the 4-week bye week, so they play 12 games straight. 12 games. Let's see. No, they play 13 games straight. So we'll see. Maybe they can go 13-0. Wouldn't that be something awesome? Let's see. But yeah, Vikings beat up Steelers. Steelers, I don't know. They're not the worst team to me in the NFL. I still think the Jaguars are worse, but there's some problems going down in Steelerville at this point. The Cardinals spoiled Mike Glennon's induction into the NFL with a win 13-10 thanks to Patrick Peterson's late interception. This game was actually exciting to watch. I actually got this game because I live here in Valdosta, Georgia, and they play that because it's a local game technically, and it was a really big defensive game. It was 10-0 at halftime. Buccaneers looked good, and then Cardinals came back and won 13-10. Mike Glennon is going to be good in the NFL. He looked very sharp. I saw that whole game. He looked very good, and I think he's already doing better than Freeman was, and I think Freeman. I think he probably just needs to go. Even though I like Josh Freeman a lot, I really do. But I think he needs to go. And I hate that all this stuff is coming out into the media between him and Schiano. So who knows with that? The Colts beat up the Jaguars 37-3. Everybody could have called this game from a mile away. I'm pretty sure Martians that have no English language, have never watched a game of football, would know that the Jaguars would have watched. And would have probably picked the Colts to beat the Jaguars. They would have known the Jaguars would lose. So the Jaguars improved to 0-4, much like the Steelers and Giants. Seattle wins in OT against the Texans, 23-20. This game was actually really good. It was 20-3 at one point. Seattle came back. Richard Sherman had a great INT return from Matt Schaub's pass for a touchdown. I picked the Seattle Seahawks to win, and the Texans started doing good, and then they gave it up. Texans are one of those teams that I think will bounce back every single week and do better, and perhaps if they get better, they just need to win the games that are really close like this. Unacceptable at this point. But Seattle won in OT. Titans win 38-13 against the Jets. I believe I called the Titans winning. Titans are definitely a surprise team. I know Jake Locker went down, so that means I don't even know who their backup is. I don't think it's Matt Hasselbeck. I think he plays for the Colts. Yeah, actually, I think he does play for the Colts. So the Titans lose probably their second best or second or third best player in Locker. Locker's been impressive this season. I'm surprised, but yeah, Titans win. I think they may be 3-1. I think Titans are 3-1. I haven't seen that since Kerry Collins played with them. All right, sorry, I had a drink some sweet tea. But moving on, another AFC team killed the Eagles, and that would be Denver, 52-20 over the Fly Eagles Fly. And I don't really know. I really can't say that I'm bought into the whole Peyton Manning thing. I like Peyton Manning, but I don't know if Denver is really that good just yet. I really haven't been able to see them play, and they haven't really played any good defenses yet. So I really want to see what they do whenever they face a good defense. So we'll see. I could see Denver being one of those teams that they kill everybody in the regular season and they lose first round or second round in the playoffs, and then good old Peyton Manning will probably retire after that because everybody is supposedly going to get fired if they don't win a championship. Supposedly that's what John Elway said in the front office. So we'll see what Mr. Elway does. I hate the guy, so let's see what he does with his excess amount of power. Redskins finally get a win. RG 1-3 against the Raiders. They finally get that win against the Raiders, 24-14. I didn't get a chance to watch this game. Didn't really get a chance to see the highlights, but Redskins win, so I know Washington's pretty happy at this point. Washington, D.C., that is, not Washington State. Cowboys fall to the Chargers in Qualcomm Stadium. I called it 30-21. Chargers showed up and came back from behind as the Cowboys fell apart. Sadly, I'm saying sadly, shout out to my friend Kyle, who will be on the call here in a couple minutes with us. Sadly, the Cowboys lost, quote unquote. So that was one of the later games this past weekend, as the Saints Monday night took on the Dolphins, who were also 3-0. Two 3-0 teams finally facing off, and the Saints came away with a big win, and they go and they improved to 4-0 against the Dolphins, 38-17. So Saints win. Enough is said. I'm not a big Saints fan. I was rooting for the Dolphins the whole game, and the Dolphins defense kind of sucked it up, especially on the I think the second Darren Sproles touchdown. It wasn't very good. That's all I'm gonna say. It wasn't very good at all. I don't really agree with that. So I don't know. Bad defense. Man, I have to tell you what, this weather down here. All right, sorry. All right. So now moving over, before we go into the predictions for the NFL season, we're going to hop over to the NCAA. As there's not many good games on this weekend, to me, in my opinion. So I have about, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 games I'm going to pick for the NCAA because there's really no football yet until halfway through October in the way of stuff actually happening in college football. So first game, this happens, I believe, afternoon on ESPNU. Georgia Tech and Miami play, and I'm going to pick Miami to win at home. Hurricanes are going to roll for a little bit longer, and I think they'll probably eventually lose, but I could see them maybe going undefeated. But I think they're going to beat Georgia Tech. If Georgia Tech beats them, it'll be a big upset. So I'm going to root for both teams. I think Miami will beat them, though, because Duke Johnson? I was going to say Duke because I don't even remember his first name or last name. He's going to do good against that defense. I'm picking Miami to win. Maryland FSU at 12 o'clock on ESPN. I'm going to pick Florida State to win that game because the Seminoles, tomahawk chop and everything, are going to get stuff going and get the place rocking. I think Florida State will win this game. It will be a good game, I think. Maryland, I think, will probably show up and do pretty well against them. But I think Florida State will win ultimately in the end. Michigan State and Iowa play each other. Michigan State will win on the road going in and playing the Hawkeyes. This is because I'm a Michigan State fan. I got to pick them. And I just don't think that Iowa's as good as everybody makes them out to be. I think Michigan State will probably win that game. Kentucky heads into South Carolina. The Cox are going to roll the Wildcats. Sorry, Kyle. I really do apologize for that. But, you even said yourself they stand no chance against them or Alabama this year. If they win, big upset. If they lose, it's kind of expected. So we'll see. Now, one of the bigger games of the weekend, the Huskies of Washington, like the state of Washington, University of Washington, they head in to play the Cardinals of Stanford. So I'm picking the Cardinals to win in 2 overtimes. I think it'll take them that much to knock off the very game Huskies. Stanford is a great team, and the Huskies are a great team. Washington's very scrappy. I could see they're almost like the Titans of the NCAA. So I'm gonna pick Stanford to win just because I think they will. Georgia Southern heads in to play Stanford. The Eagles went on the road and go 4-1 on the season. I'm just picking them because I'll get killed by my sister if I don't pick Georgia Southern. So you know how it goes. Florida Tech heads into Valdosta State University. Valdosta State will win and improve to 4-0 like we always do. We're going undefeated again, baby. 2 times champions. Back to back. We're going to go for 3 next year and then 4 the next year. And then as many years as I'm here, like I said last week, we're going to win every single championship available. We're going to move up to Division 1A, and we're going to beat Alabama for the national championship game. That's how good we are. That's how good I think we can do it. So that's what I'm picking. VSU will win and roll. UCLA and Utah. UCLA will continue to win for their teammate who had died. UCLA will roll over Utah tomorrow night on ESPN. And I will go ahead and bring in Kyle in a couple minutes to pick the Ohio State Northwestern game, and we'll get his take on that. But I think the UCLA game will be good. They're very underrated, and I think that defense is really good, in my opinion. The Washington Stanford game again, I think will be one of the better games of the weekend. There's really nothing going on, so we'll go ahead and bring in Kyle. What's going on, Kyle?
Going on, man.
All right, so we're about to pick the Ohio State Northwestern game as Ohio State, number 4 in the nation, heads in to play the Wildcats. Who you got in this one?
Now, I've been looking forward to this for a long time, and this is honestly one of the biggest games in Northwestern's prestigious football history, and most recently because this gives them the opportunity that they've been waiting for a couple of years now with Matt Fitzgerald to finally take that next step and put Northwestern football back on the map. And it's been a work in progress. I mean, guys like Benrick Mark, the running back, is very solid at the running back position. Honestly, one of the more underrated running backs in the country. Kane Coulter at quarterback is dynamite senior. And some other receivers, Rashad Lawrence, Christian Jones, Tony Jones. And on the defensive end, you look at Chichi Guerzio, the linebacking core, along with David Proby, and they've just been a beast up front of the linebacking core. And then you think about Nick Van House, who's probably their best defensive player overall at the cornerback position. So, but you counter that with Ohio State coming in with Miller and all those guys. Now, I think, like you, I agree that Kenny Guyton is a better thrower. And Miller brings that more dynamic factor in.
Yeah, I don't know. Braxton, to me, isn't even a quarterback. He doesn't even feel like a quarterback to me. He's not even a scrambler. He doesn't even do that well to me. I mean, I don't even know. I guess I'm biased on Kenny Guyton because I actually called him actually being good, and then ESPN's like, oh my gosh, this guy's actually right. Not that I actually told him or anything like that. They just know. So you got Northwestern in this game?
I'm going to go with the Northwestern Wildcats because, number one, I think that Fitzgerald is going to get them riled up. Game day is going to be there. And you've seen what programs are trying to get back, like Clemson, not necessarily that they needed to get back on the map, but they needed a big statement win. They got that. They come to Athens last week. Team needs a big statement win. They get it. This is the week I think Northwestern gets that big statement win over the. When you think about it, Northwestern has been at the bottom, been working their way back up, and the precedent that Ohio State sets in the Big Ten, they're going to take down the precedent. And they're going to take them down. I got the Wildcats started from the bottom, and then they're going to go there.
Wow, nice Drake reference right there. I got the Wildcats too. I think that it's about time the militia retakes the presidency and a new government takes place in the Big Ten. Stupid legends versus whatever leaders division crap that they have up there. But Northwestern's going to win this game. I think they got that home crowd, and I think that
that crowd is just going to be fired up.
Oh my gosh, it will be one of the best atmospheres I think of the season. Other than I think the Clemson game is probably taking the cake of atmospheres this season.
Oh, absolutely! That game at the beginning of the season was incredible.
Yeah, even the Vanderbilt game versus Ole Miss had a great atmosphere. So
absolutely.
Well, I think Northwestern will win this game. If they lose, with Ohio State's schedule, I don't even know who would be next. I guess Michigan would probably be the closest one to possibly beat them after Northwestern.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, transitioning over to the NFL, tomorrow night the Bills take on Cleveland in Cleveland, and who you got in this game?
And Cleveland has surprised me because you and me, especially 2 weeks ago, we're just like when they traded Trent Richardson, we're just like, what is going on? We don't know what's going on. They're throwing their season in the tank. This is how the Browns management actually believe that's the Browns and the Browns. They all came out of nowhere. Now they've won 2 in a row with Brian Flynn. And this team has got some youth on both sides of the ball that is being used correctly for once. Rob Chetzinski is really coaching these guys up. And here is the factor in my game. There's a huge difference. TJ Manuel's a great quarterback at home. On the road, he's been less than stellar. And with C.J. Spiller banged up and Frank Jackson banged up, I'm going with the Browns. I think the Browns get the 3 in a row and a winning record.
So you're picking the Browns to beat the Bills, huh?
Yes.
Well, me too. I'm picking the Browns to win 3-0. To go 3-0 since they're trading Richardson. I think that Cameron's going to have a big game, the good tight end. And I think that Joe Hayden's going to have a field day with E.J. Manuel. So, I think Browns will win this game too. I'll say they're probably going to. I could say I don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh, so I could see them probably finishing 3rd or even 2nd in the division at this point. The way the Baltimore's handling their game, so I think Browns will go 3-0 since trading Richardson. That'd be a big thing. I think Cleveland will be like, holy crap, we're actually doing something. Now, if the Indians win tonight as they play the Ravens, which I think the Ravens will beat them, that place is gonna be going insane. Cleveland's gonna become the hot place to go and play, especially with Ohio State doing well, quote unquote. So, but Cleveland will win, go 3-0, definitely.
I agree. And Jordan Cameron, how big has he been in the past couple of weeks?
Well, he's white, so he's really not that big. Nobody celebrates the white players anymore. So.
Yeah, and I'm picking the Indians tonight, by the way. So.
Really? Come on now. You want the Rays to win, bro. You want them. I know you want Francona to go back to Boston and the whole thing go up, but you gotta know, man. You gotta go with the Rays. If David Price was pitching, it'd probably be the best, but you never know.
All right.
Okay. All right. You just want to leave? Okay. Let's go. The Lions and Packers play. Lions head into Lambeau Field. You know who I'm going with. I'm going to pick the Packers to win, to stay in contention in the North. I think it will be a good game. I think that it will probably be one of the best games right now. Probably even this weekend, honestly. I just want the Packers to win because they really do need to stay in contention. Because, they got their bye week early, so they need to win, 13 preferably in a row. That's probably not going to happen, but they need this win because they need to win against division opponents at least to really stay in contention. Of course they do. I feel like I'm freaking Phil Simms. Well, if you score more points, then you're going to win the game. So but who you got in this one?
We've seen what Reggie Bush means to that Lions team. It gives them a different dynamic in the backfield and out of the backfield when he's the receiving back. Now, going against a weak secondary and a weak defense overall, this could be as we make into the shootout. And in a shootout, I give edges to home teams because, let's face it, Lions are good, but the Packers are still the precedent in the NFC North. I'm going to go with the precedent in Lambeau. I'm going with the Packers.
Man, that's going to be one of the greatest scenes because, hey, I think it's like their first time returning to Lambeau. I think they've been on the road. Yeah, I think they were on the road. No, who they play week 2?
They play the Redskins.
Oh, yeah, home, right? Yeah.
That's their second home game.
All right, it's the second home game. 1 o'clock game. That means it's going to be pretty. It's going to be nice. It'll probably still be cold because it's always cold. So I'm just playing. It'll probably be like 72, which to freaking Lambeau, that's like summer. So, yeah, I love Reggie Bush. And I love him to death. But, I really just want my Packers to win just because they really need to at this point. 1 o'clock game that I'm getting for some reason because apparently Fox loves the Saints. Saints and Bears play and in Soldier Field. And I'm going to pick the Saints to win because I hate the Bears to death, and I hope that they, I think the devil will smile if they lose this week. So Saints will win to go 5-0. So.
And here's the key for me in this game. Breeze has been on fire right now, but this is going to be the best defense he's faced all season to this point. And the key part of that game is the Bears kind of takeaways, and they're going to the home crowd is going to get behind them. And I think the Bears upset the Saints right here. I don't know if you saw that upset, but I think they take down the Saints in Soldier Field on Sunday.
You know, I could see it just because I just think about the secondary. You know, Peanut Tillman, or whoever you want to call him, Charles, whatever. He's a good shutdown. He's a good shutdown corner, and I think that I think it will be probably a closer game than a lot of the other people are thinking. You know, because I mean, everybody seems to jump on the bandwagons and go with it. So I'm thinking that it will be a good game. I think the Saints will probably win because I want them to win, and I hate saying that because I hate both teams, but I think Saints will win. But if Bears win, then I'll be royally pissed, and I will probably go buy myself a new TV. But moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals game, Patriots. I believe the Patriots go. Yeah, Patriots I think go into Cincinnati. Yeah, they do. Since Patriots go into Cincinnati, I'm gonna say since that secondary is still banged up, Patriots are gonna win due to that.
I think they were so high on confidence. The Bengals were like, all right, we're 2-1. We just beat the Packers. We're gonna play the Browns, and they thought it was a foregone conclusion, especially Bengals fans. They go into Cleveland, get embarrassed, 17-6. So they're gonna need to win this game to really assert themselves back in that division, and I do think they do that. Brady's receivers are getting better. That defense is still vulnerable, as we saw last week against the Falcons. I think the Bengals are right. I think the Bengals at home are a tough team to beat. I think they do beat the Patriots on Sunday.
Yeah, if the Bengals win, I'll be okay because I picked the Bengals to go to the AFC Championship game. And they'll probably play the Patriots there at this point. I think Denver will probably lose second or first or second round. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't jumped on the bandwagon yet. I probably won't all season. But you know, I want the Bengals to do good, especially since they're my defense this week. You know, I mean, so I need them not to get completely torched by Brady, but I also want Brady to have a good game. So I'm just picking Patriots because I think at this point the Patriots cannot lose at this point because that division is so tough right now. Actually, you know, and more realistically, that division is probably the most competitive at this moment. Because I mean everybody's winning right now in that division. That hasn't happened in forever. So, but yeah, I think Patriots will win. If Bengals win, I'll be like yes. If Brady torches that defense, I'll be like oh god. But you know he'll get more points than that defense would. So, moving on, Chiefs and Titans. This will be a good game. I'm picking because it's in Nashville. I'm picking the Titans to beat them. You know, I think it will be a very hard, tough game. I think the Chiefs will run their typical slow, maniacal offense. You know, where they just pound the ball and then they run play action and get it done. Basically, what the Texans used to do before they started to poop out. So as my dog decides to shake behind me, oh my god. I think the Titans will win. I think even though Jake Locker's out, I don't know who the backup quarterback is. Do you?
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Okay, that may change it. That may change how I feel. I'm gonna revoke that. I'm gonna say the Titans win. I mean, not Titans. I'm gonna say the Chiefs win by a field goal at the end of the game. So I think. Oh man, I don't know. That game will be fun to watch. You know, I'll be kind of happy whoever wins, but the Titans may win if Ryan Fitzpatrick decides to use Harvard law degree to do something other than suck. But it is in Nashville, so it does give the Titans an edge, and I'm excited to see them do well. So
you're on a roll today, man.
I try, you know. Yeah, I try.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs mainly because the fact that you brought out Jake Locker, who was playing incredible last week until Muhammad Wilkerson made that dirty play. But I think the Chiefs are right now the good as any team in the NFL. 4-0, impressive. Looked very impressive last week as you saw Dexter McCluster put on the Madden news.
Yeah.
But I think the Titans will fight because that defense is very underrated and they will fight and keep it close. But I agree with you. Towards the end of the game, I think the Chiefs pull it out and move to 5-0.
Yeah. The Chiefs' defense is probably the most underrated, in my opinion. That
I agree.
secondary, that, that
100%.
secondary is disgustingly good. And oh my gosh, freaking Houston is such a beast coming off the edge. I mean, Andy Reid has turned that team upside down and smacked it up the butt and been like, "That's what we're gonna do." And we're going to do it my way, or you guys are going to get out. And I just think that was probably the best thing that happened to the Chiefs organization since, they made did they make the playoffs that one year? No, they got pretty far. They almost did.
They got a couple years ago, they won the division and went with Matt Castle,
Yeah.
but lost the Ravens.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like, if the Chiefs continue to do this, and I think the Chiefs are better right now than, like, to me, the Broncos haven't played anybody, okay? And, like, they haven't played a good defense yet, to me. They played the Ravens. The Ravens' defense is okay, but whenever you lose to the Bills, it was at Ralph Wilson, but whenever you can't, I don't know. I just don't. I'm just not on the bandwagon for Broncos. But I mean, right now you got two undefeated teams out there on the West. That never happens out there. So it's and when those teams meet, it's gonna be electric, and I think it's electric. Ugh. And I think it will be. I think it would be fantastic. But Chiefs defense is awesome. So,
Yeah, I agree.
what?
I agree with you. The Chiefs win.
Yeah.
Chiefs defense is going to carry them again.
Yeah. The Seahawks and the Colts play at Lucas Oil. This is the second road game in a row against the AFC South for the Seahawks. I'm picking Seattle to win and Lucas Oil to stay perfect.
I'm thinking I'm going to go against the grain here, but here's my reasoning. I think this is probably my most intriguing matchup on Sunday because you got a team not necessarily struggling to find their identity in Indianapolis, but trying to get that signature win. I mean, they can consider that San Francisco one, but they need a signature home win, which they don't have quite yet. This is their opportunity for them to step up against arguably the best team in the NFL right now.
So you're picking the Colts?
Browner, Chancellor, Sherman, all those guys on the defense. One of the hardest hitting and possibly the best defense in the National Football League right now, going at them. But then you got the offensive weapons, Trent Richardson, Donald Brown, who stepped up last week, Reggie Wayne, Jerry Hayward-Bay. Then on defense, now a big loss, Warner, the first-round draft pick for the Colts, out 4 to 6 weeks. It's going to be crucial. But in front of their home crowd, Indianapolis just finds ways to win crucial games in front of their home crowd. We thought last year. They do it again this weekend and upset the Seahawks.
I know what game you're thinking about from last year, and I don't really want to talk about it. So the reason I'm picking Seahawks, you know why? You know why I'm picking Seahawks? Because I picked the Seahawks last week, and the Texans almost won. So I'm picking the Seahawks this week, and I'm hoping that the Colts will win. See, that's just like the mindset that I'm going with, because I'm like, hey, it almost happened. They took them to overtime last week, so let's see them do it this week and beat them. So, and I want Trent Richardson to freaking go off because you know why, but I think Seattle will. I already explained why I picked them, so I think Colts may win too, but I'm not saying that. That was not the picks. So, Jacksonville and St. Louis, probably the most exciting game of the weekend. I'm picking the Rams to win, and the Jaguars to go 0-5. So.
Oh man. Now, this is the one that probably needs the least good description of all. Jacksonville is forward. I think they actually have a chance to go 0-16, so I'm going to go with the better team. Even though they're struggling, St. Louis at home gets a big W, and they win.
So who's worse, the 0-16 Jaguars or the 0-16 Lions?
Well, either way.
Yeah. So a game I get Monday.
They're both pretty bad, so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. At least the Lions didn't lose by 50 points a game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Not a game I get Monday, but a game I get Sunday because apparently Miami is closer than Jacksonville, even though St. Louis is pretty far away. But you know how it goes. If that makes any sense to anybody.
Geography.
Yeah, geography. Who actually takes that class anymore? Yeah. Baltimore heads into Sun Life, and you're probably. I know who you're gonna pick, but I'm going against it. I'm picking the Dolphins to win at home And it's going to cause some panic in Baltimore. They're going to be like, uh-oh, what's going on here? I thought we're going to do good after trading away everybody that's even on our roster and then sign a whole new people. We're going to go get all the retirement home people out from retirement homes and then trade them away. So I'm picking the Dolphins to win and bounce back from that loss just because I believe in the Dolphins, and I think that Baltimore can lose games and still be in contention for that division right now. So, I'm picking Miami because they need to win this game to stay up there with the Patriots at this point and the Jets at this point.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins as well.
Oh, wow.
Baltimore on the road is just a different animal at some point. Than they are at home. They struggle on the road. They're better at home. And I think the Dolphins, they win in Orleans, got spanked. They're going to have to respond emphatically, and that's what I think they do. And I think they win. Good.
I'm glad we agreed on something, Kyle.
Yeah, finally.
Must be apocalypse out here.
Hey, did you guys know I went to that Dairy Queen?
Ryan Dempster, man. What? He hit a home run. Whoa.
I thought there was a better chance I'd see Ron Santo running naked on Wrigley Field.
Oh my gosh. The Eagles head into MetLife to take on the G-Man. Oh, I'm Swami. We got two bad Chris Berman coming out right there. I got two bad defenses going against each other, but one bad defense is better than the other bad defense, and I'm saying the Eagles are going to beat them. This game will be the battle of the sexes because you have the women for the G-men, and then you have the kind of wimpy men on the Eagles side. I'm kind of just feeding to that cowboy ego of yours. I'm sorry. Which we're actually going to get up to that game here in a couple minutes. I'm picking the Eagles. Who you got?
I got the Giants, and here's why. The Giants, their backs are against the wall. Not saying the Eagles aren't, but their backs are really firmly against the wall. And they had a players-only meeting this week, and I think they had it last week as well, not considering they didn't work out too well, but Justin Tuck said he's going to fight for his coach, and that's what exactly at home, they're going to fight for their coach. So I'm going to go with the Giants over the Eagles defense. I think they're going to be able to put points. Well, look out. I watched for Victor Cruz have a big game.
Oh, crap. I'm expecting all the fans of New York to go ahead and fly down to Atlanta for the game anyways because, it's New York right now and there's not much football happening. I think it will probably be a shootout, but again, I think the Eagles will win just because Antoine Roll said that they're going to go 14-0 or sorry, what was it? He said they're going to go 12-0 at this point. For the Giants, so it's the New York Times, and it could happen, but a lot of stuff is going to change. It's going to have to change with that schedule. I believe.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that the Packers come to town, or they go up to the Lambeau at some point. So that's they're going to lose there like they always do, except for in the playoffs. God dang it. But that game will be very interesting. It will probably be on tape delay because of how bad it will be. So, the Panthers head into good old sunny Arizona, I believe. I believe they're in Arizona. I don't know. The way I write these freaking pre-production notes, it's kind of confusing sometimes because I usually see a thing. I'm like, yeah. All right. So I'm picking the Panthers to come back and win, and D'Angelo Williams to have a big game, and for Cam Newton to suck it up so you lose some fantasy points.
I'm going to go with the Panthers as well, and here's why. I think the Panthers are due to get back on track, and now the division is already, but the teams in that division really need to help the Bears win, and they really need to win in theory because the Saints are already 4-0, 3 games up on at least everybody. So yeah. I think the Panthers step up. Now Arizona at home, tough to beat, but Cam, the last time Cam walked in there, I think Tim, I feel like that's the place he plays for every game, and I think that part of it is going to help him. He's going to be comfortable. If he lit it up there before, and then he goes in there and lights it up again in a big game, and they take down Arizona in Arizona.
I do think that Patrick Peterson will probably shut down Steve Smith.
We'll see.
You know, he laid off of Vincent Jackson, but he played him tight enough that he could cause turnovers. You know, it's two different quarterbacks, which I think Mike Glennon did good in my opinion. You know, it was a good start for his career. But I think Panthers will win just because they have to, and with the Falcons losing like they always do, you know, they could probably come in second. Moving on to the game I know you'll be watching, and the Broncos heading to good old Cowboy Stadium to take on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I'm picking the good old Cowboys to stun the Broncos in Dallas.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'll probably regret that after I see the final score, but, you know.
And tell me why you're picking them.
I'm picking them because I don't want the Broncos to do any better, and I think that the Cowboys usually, unless they're playing the Redskins, usually stand up and do something at home. And I think that they'll get their running game going. It's not that good. I mean, honestly, if they can run to the outside and get the edge, they don't have the outside linebackers that can really catch DeMarco Murray. And I think, you know, if Tony Romo, I actually said his name right for once, without adding an H instead of the R, you know, if he can actually focus on the game and get some good passes to Miles Austin and to Dez Bryant, you know, they'll control that game. I just think that their defense is going to have to be the star of the game. If they give out game balls, which I know they give out a lot of balls there at Cowboy Stadium, I'm sorry. Then I think that they will. I think that they'll give out a game ball for the defense. They really have to step up and do their job. I know you're picking the Cowboys too.
And here's why. And this is why I'm picking them. Cowboys traditionally step up big time in home games. This is no exception. A 4-0 Broncos team that has looked at points unbeatable. But there's the thing. No team is unbeatable unless you're talking about the 1972 Miami Dolphins.
Or the 2015 Jets.
I think the Cowboys step up, get to Manning with Ware coming around the corner. I think they're going to get to Manning, and I think my Cowboys rise up at home and take down the undefeated Broncos in a game that they really need to win.
Yeah, I agree. Ware's gonna have a big game, and I think Ware does better. In my opinion, I hate the 3-4 defense just because it takes away a lot of I don't know, my defensive mind. I really can't explain it without actually drawing it out and showing it. But I should be defensive coordinator at this point. But I would love to see that Denver team play the Seattle secondary and watch Peyton Manning basically lose his balls in that game. No joke, lose some balls. But I think again Dallas will stun them in Dallas, and I know that there will probably be some inclement weather up in Forsyth County. If that happens, but it should happen. So Sunday night before the Oakland game, Houston and San Francisco go ahead and take the field and play each other in Candlestick. I'm picking the 49ers to win in overtime.
I'm picking the 49ers straight up by 2 touchdowns, and here's why. Now, the Texans, like they said, they've had a player-only meeting this week after the possible debilitating loss last week to the Seahawks, but it just Schaub is not the guy. And I don't know if you agree with me on that or not, but I really don't think Schaub's the guy.
I disagree, just because I like Schaub.
I just don't think he's ready for that spotlight. I think they need a better quarterback in there. He really choked that game away last weekend in a big way. I just don't see them recovering on the road against it, improving and probably getting Patrick Willis back San Francisco defense.
Yeah, but San Francisco is they're a different game. Sorry, I was popping a pimple on my back. I'm just playing. I had to choose to ignore a call because the people have apparently been wanting to sell me a bunch of stuff. I think that defense isn't as strong without Aldon, but he's off in marijuana land right now. So,
rehab.
Like I said, marijuana land. which is where he should be for some reason because apparently he's too stupid to know not to do that. You know, I want the reason why I had to go. I had to basically do what I did with the Colts game. I know Houston showed up last week whenever I picked the Seahawks. I picked the 49ers because I want Houston to show up again. And if the 49ers win, I don't know. I think that Seattle will ultimately win that division. But I think Houston needs this win to really stay in contention, honestly, with the Titans and Colts at this point, because we all know the Jaguars won't be doing anything. So, but I really do think they need this win just because they need that win to really kind of to show up and be like, hey, we're still here and we're still for real. But if San Francisco wins, then I'll be like, okay. But I really do want Houston to win, and I understand what you're saying too. With Willis being back, that defense is going to be pretty solid. But again, with Aldon Smith not there, I think it will be a little bit different of a defense. And if they can if Andre Johnson can stay healthy throughout the entire game and play really well, and if Schaub can be focused, they really just need to get their run game going. Honestly, they're switching out Arian Foster and Ben Tate too much. They need to let Arian Foster do his work and get 30 carries a game. So,
which they tried to get him the ball a lot last week.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna miss most of that game with watching Battleground, but
yeah, buddy, I won't be getting that pay-per-view.
I hear you.
I'll be watching my stories. So,
hey,
yeah.
It doesn't matter. This is the last Sunday without The Walking Dead.
Exactly.
Just think about that.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Walking Dead returns to AMC October 13th at 9 o'clock. So be there and watch it, or be square. That's a nice promo. I should get paid for that. All right, let's see. Chargers go out to Oakland at a 11:45 game. Woo! Yeah, woo! NFL. Yeah. Doing it late night. Getting going. I wonder if that means there'll be like a bunch of cussing on since it's past, bedtime for little kiddies. It'll be an underwear game for the NFL. I'm picking the Chargers to win in a late but decent game, honestly. I think the Chargers, that defense in Oakland, it's a tough crowd, and they'll be really high, especially if they'll be always high because, but I think they'll be really high off of the A's winning that night. I'm picking the A's to win the night before. So I think the Chargers will beat the Raiders. Man, I should be putting this stuff on Twitter right now. The Chargers, I think they'll beat the Raiders, unless Phil Rivers decides to throw his casual 13 interceptions a game like he usually does. So.
And he should be. I'll give Rivers credit. He stepped up last week against my Cowboys, which I was upset about. But
I called it.
But I think this week, Sean Pryor back, it's going to be more dynamic offense for Oakland. I think Oakland takes them down. Oakland should be a good place to be in the coming months with the Raiders improving, obviously the A's in the postseason, and the Golden State Warriors starting next season. And I think, not that this is football talk, but Warriors are dark horse in the West. That's all I have to say, but I'm going with the Raiders. I think McFadden and Pryor get it done. The area still watch out. I think he's going to have a big game. And I think Rivers throws 3 interceptions.
Yeah, Oakland's used to winning, 3 or 4 games a season. So, if they can get to 5 wins, that will be a stellar improvement for the Raiders. But I think Chargers will do good. I think that defense is actually kind of underrated in a way. That defense is actually pretty decent. I think their corners, Quentin Jammer is still probably one of the better corners in the game.
Eric Weddle, one of the better safeties in the league as well.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting because nobody will be watching that game. So I would love to see the ratings for that game. It's always good. It's always good for the NFL to give the Oakland Raiders a nice primetime spot where nobody's going to watch them because nobody watches them anyway. So, I'm sorry. I'm just like, pow, pow. I'm going off today. Woo! Let's do it. It's coming off that high from that midterm, boy. Last game of the weekend, it goes Monday night while Raw is on. Raw, USA, 8 o'clock Eastern, 3-hour show.
Battleground.
Yeah, Battleground Fallout. Better be there. I should be getting paid for these promotions. Hook me up, WWE. I'm ready to work for you. Let's go. What?
Same here.
Oh, same here. Okay. So we're going to have to compete. Okay. Jets and Falcons. Woo! New York Jets. The good old Jets heading to Falcon Land, Hot Atlanta, with the casual 30 people that show up. The Jets win, in my opinion, to stay in contention in the East, while the Falcons go find themselves. Sorry, I'm reading from my notes. I suck at handwriting and typing in general. They go and find themselves in a 1-4 hole. 1-4. The Falcons haven't been this bad since Joey Harrington started for them like 3 years. Oh, sorry, not 3 years ago. Oh, I forgot. Matt Ryan was actually quarterbacking back then. What was that? It was like 7 years ago that they found themselves in a 1-4 hole and didn't do anything like they usually do. So, Falcons lose. What about you?
Wow, that's a gutsy call, my friend. And here is the reason I'm going with what I'm going with. The Jets at home have won 2 games, and they've looked okay. The Jets on the road have looked about as good as the Powerpuff Girls have looked on football field.
Hey, they're still better than the Jaguars. Boom.
Yes, but Geno Smith on the road has looked atrocious. I don't even think it's going to be a close game. I think the Falcons win by 2 or 3 touchdowns because Falcons need this win. The Falcons are going to get back in the hunt, go to 2 and 3. Schedule coming up is a little bit more lenient. I think the Falcons get back on track here with a big W as the Jets go twirling back into Willy Wonka land at 2 and 3, and it won't get much better for them with their schedule coming up as well.
Well, the Jets really won't be feeling like a home game or away game at this point because there's no crowd noise at either stadium at this point. So, I think the Jets are going to find themselves perfectly fine. And I'm going to be wearing my LaDainian Tomlinson jersey, and it's going to give them the power of the one ring to rule them all, and it's going to be like, boom, right in your face, Falcons, and all one fan that's in the stadium being like, yay, let's go Packers, woo! Anybody remember that playoff game a couple years ago? I do. Halftime, good old halftime when all that was left in the stadiums that was red was the seats that were empty from all the Falcons fans. All that was green was all the Packer fans that were still there. So blow on that one. And I'm sorry about your goose egg, by the way. Oh wait, your Falcons. Sorry about your bird egg. But I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting game. I think that game will be one of those games where everybody's like, I should turn this one off and go watch Raw on USA at 8 o'clock Eastern. Boom, there's another sponsor right there.
Or the MLB playoffs on TBS.
Man, we should just be like one of those people that just do all those kind of like, let's do. I'm looking at my Taco Bell commercial. Liv Moss, greatness awaits PS4. If you buy a $5 big box, you'll be entered for a chance to win a PS4 before they even come out. Look at that. Look at that promotion right there. I should be getting paid for this.
I could be the
Trojan. Yeah, I remember that. Trojan man. God.
Speaking of Trojan man, how about Lane Kiffin get canned?
There was some inclement weather down here in Valdosta State. For the first time in history, ladies and gentlemen, it actually snowed for real down here. And I was able to literally go to bed knowing that my Trojans would probably lose the rest of the season this season. But, hey, next year they'll probably have Jack Del Rio coaching them, and they'll still do just as bad as it was whenever Lane Kiffin was there. So, I've come to the stiff fact, and it's very, very, very stiff at this point, that the good old USC Trojans are on a downslope, and the only way to ever win again is to either get Mark Brown. Oh, wait, never mind. Mark Brown doesn't win anything. They can always get, they can always go and recruit Steve Carroll to come back down, and he can maybe do something for him for like a year.
Yeah, but what he's doing up there in Seattle, he ain't going nowhere, man. He's got a chance to win a Super Bowl this year.
You know what? Maybe we should get Lou Holtz on board. That way he can pick us every single weekend when we're not playing. So let's see.
He said his name wrong.
Oh, Lou. Sorry, I forgot.
Lou Holtz.
Yeah.
Notre Dame and the South Carolina Gamecocks.
We should get Mark.
Notre Dame's going to go 12-0 every single year, Lou. It's repetitive. Stop.
We should get Mark May. No, never mind. We should get Dick Vitale to do it. We need to get Dick Vitale. It's not worse. Mark May is not that bad. He could be worse.
I mean, we could get Chris Collinsworth and Phil Sims in the same booth, and then we just...
Okay.
And then with the lead anchor, Gus Johnson, we'd be done. We'd be done.
All right. I'll have to defend Chris Collinsworth. He's a little bit better. No, what we need is Bill Billick in there and let him do his work. And then, I think John Gruden should go and coach the Trojans so he can be back out west, So, Gruden Grinders, yeah, woo, yeah.
Yeah, but also plug for baseball playoffs, and my predictions are Indians tonight.
Screw you.
Indians over the Rays.
Screw you.
The Red Sox over the Indians. A's over Tigers. Red Sox over A's. Red Sox in the series. I got the Dodgers coming out of the NL, and I got Dodgers in 7.
So hold on. So you've changed your A's pick because last night you said that you wanted the Detroit Tigers to win.
Apparently, Jim Leland came out and said today that Miguel Cabrera's not 100%. That's the X factor. That's why the A's took advantage of it, and the A's won the series this year.
You know what? Actually, I think that the A's need to like draft Chris Davis over and let him just hit a bunch of home runs for them. That way they can actually produce anything. But I still think the A's will win that series. Let's turn this into baseball talk real quick. Okay, I got the I got the Pirates winning, which came true. Sorry, Kyle, to your dismay. And I wonder how sad Herbstreit will be. Let's see.
He is.
I had the Pirates winning. I have the Braves winning, and I had the Cardinals winning. No, I had the Pirates winning. I said the Pirates. No, the Cardinals would win on a walk-off to beat the Pirates in the 5th game. Braves, if they win 2 at home, then they'll beat the Dodgers. But if they split, then the Dodgers should probably have that in the bag. Between the two in the NL, between if the Braves win and if the Cardinals win, I'm going to pick the Braves in 7 if they have home field. And then on the AL side, I have the A's going to the World Series just because I want the A's in there. I want an A ball cap. I want 2 teams that have a letter A on their ball cap. Just in the thing, so they're gonna be like the A's versus the Braves because apparently the Braves need an A on their cap to represent Atlanta because that makes a lot of freaking sense.
Well, I understand that, and then transitioning over to wrestling talk for a moment. I'm going to make my picks for Sunday's Battleground pay-per-view. Del Rio, Orton, the Road family gets their jobs back. CM Punk, who gives a crap about the Divas match.
Go Bree.
I'm going to go with AJ Lee, but that's the only matches that have been announced so far, but there will probably be some impromptu matches. As long as you don't put Santino on the card, we're good.
I want Los Matadores versus Santino and Zack Ryder. That would be the glorious TV time that everybody needs. That's more of a bathroom break than the Divas match at SummerSlam was better than the Bray Wyatt, so...
Most Matadors are about as useful as a rotten burrito from Taco Bell, so...
I'd rather eat 2 rotten burritos than watch them 2 on the ring.
And El Torito, the little guy, so...
The little bull. I wonder how big his bull balls are then. It must be pretty small too.
Alright, yeah, this is a good talk this week, my friend.
Yeah, no, let's end it on that. Let's end the talk on bull balls. You know, that makes a lot of sense. So, thanks for calling in, Carl. I'll finish up the show and wrap it up, and then I'll get this thing up on YouTube as fast as possible, okay?
No problem. Best in the world. CM Punk on Sunday, the best group day 1. And Ziggler and Sandow on the pre-show. Winner, show off. Later.
Yeah, right before you got it off, I was supposed to be like, "Hey, let's let's go Heyman," but I'd probably crush your soul if I said that. But shout out to Kyle. Thanks a lot, Kyle, for calling into the show. I think next time, guys, we may actually try to do this a little bit in the way of a live event on YouTube. Let's see what happens with this. We'll see how it goes. I'll have to see what my schedule is like. I'll get out a update for you guys. That's what is going to happen. But if not, then we'll see you guys next week. I believe that's the 9th of October. Yep, exactly the 9th of October. It would be 2 weeks until good old Battlefield 4 drops. Not Battlefield 4. Sorry, the Marvel Lego. But best in the world, CM Punk faces off against the Paul Heyman people. The Paul Heyman crew and the gay marriage that happened on Raw this past week. Sunday at Battleground. Guys, go watch some it's actually the AL wild card game tonight. Go ahead and go watch that and enjoy and root the Rays the victory, even though he wants the Indians to win. Root the Rays the victory. Tampa Bay needs it, and because they don't get any winning any other way because the Lightning suck, and so do the Buccaneers. So thank you guys for listening to Football Talk episode 6. I am Marksman. That was Kyle, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it this week. See you guys next week for episode 7. Peace.